This is a clip from an earlier live stream. I know you're going to like it, so the link to the full video is down below. Check it out. I'll see you over there. Grace and peace, everybody. Good morning to y'all. Hopefully you all are having a great Thursday morning. Thankful Thursday. Thankful for you all stopping by, popping in. This is an early morning impromptu live stream. I was reading and I said, let me go ahead and talk about this as a live stream, as a podcast, because this is super interesting. So I'm not gonna do a video on it. I'm just gonna go and talk about it. I want you to think for a second. Just ponder in your mind your household budget, whatever that is. You and your wife, if you're single, you and your singleness, you and your single and kids, whatever. What is your household budget? And I would love for you to imagine that you have to pay 10% of that away to another entity, not like giving it to church or anything, but in an adversarial, like let's say you got to give it to your neighbor because your dog went on the yard or something like that. And you had to give away 10% of your budget. How crazy would that be? Would that be crazy? Now imagine if it were 20% of your budget, of your household budget for the year 2026. You're going to make X amount of dollars. You know you're going to make X amount of dollars, but now you got to subtract 10%, 20% from your budget, and you're already kind of strapped because you got kids in school and you got to take care of expenses and being an adult, so on and so forth. How would that work for you? Would that be easy peasy? Would you feel like, no, that wouldn't have no problem at all? I could handle it all with no problem. Most of us would probably not be happy that we have to give away 10%, 20%, 30% of our household budget for the year to our neighbor or an adversary because of something boneheaded that that we chose to do. And I think most of us would agree that would probably be a gut punch. That would probably mess up a lot of things. Kids might not be able to do soccer, might not be able to take their vacation. We'll have to cancel Christmas already in January if that happened. Well, that's Fani Willis. Let's talk about it. So everybody knows Fani Willis is the DA here in Fulton County in Atlanta, Georgia, that brought Trump on those trumped up RICO charges some time ago. The case fell apart like a house of cards. And now all the cards have been flipped, the table's been flipped, and now Fani Willis is being looked at as not only because she was removed from the case, but also for maybe some malpractice, some malfeasance, and such of that nature. Well, here in Georgia, we have a law, and was recently signed into law, that if a prosecutor is removed from a case, the defendants have the right to seek legal fees. So if in this situation, if Fani Willis brought charges against the J-Wit podcast and Fani Willis is found to be a complete and total sham, and I spent $1 million defending myself, $1 million is not really that crazy of an idea when you hear some of these cases. If I spent $1 million defending myself, well, guess what? Fani Willis owes me $1 million. It's really that easy. Well, Donald Trump, as we said it, Donald Trump is the first one to the bat. He said, hey, I want my money back. Now, you may or may not have heard this, but Donald Trump is asking for quite a bit. Oh, it's a lot of money. Wait. It's a whole lot of money. Have y'all heard this yet? Have y'all heard how much money Donald Trump is asking for? Just Trump alone, not even the other 18 co-defendants. Well, let me take that back. It's not 18 because like 6 pled out. So it's like 12. I think it's 11 or 12 that were still on the hook. But Donald Trump said, oh no, I want all my money back. It is a lot. Let me bring this in. Shout out to the best live chat on the internet. Green hearts in the chat when you can hear. Well, first of all, Jason, bring that in. There we go. Green hearts in the chat when you can hear. Let's go.
Donald Trump is now seeking more than Some breaking news right now at 6. President Donald Trump is now seeking more than $6 million from the Fulton County District Attorney's office. In a motion filed today in Fulton County Superior Court, the president said the money would be used to cover his attorney fees and litigation costs in the recently dismissed criminal election interference case. President Trump says he is entitled to the compensation under a new Georgia law, which allows criminal defendants to recover expenses when prosecutors are dismissed for misconduct. You'll remember, Fulton County DA Fani Willis was accused of having an improper romantic relationship with a private attorney she had hired to work on the case. We have reached out to the DA's office and will let you know if and when they respond.
Well, we already know she's not going to respond. There's one little hiccup. There's one little hiccup in this whole story, and it is removed for impropriety, and Fani Willis was found with the appearance of impropriety. To me, I think that's splitting hairs. I think that is really trying to dance on a razor's edge, but I think that's going to be a problem. So let's look at the article in question. And this is from The Hill. And let me bring this in. I don't know why I didn't do that earlier. Come on, Jason, get your life together. All right, let's go. Trump asked judge to award $6 million in legal bills for failed Georgia prosecution. And the more you hear about the case, whether you like Trump or not, whether you think that he should be president or not, is not the argument. The more you hear about the case, the more you realize, like, yo, this thing was off the rails from the word go. It was bad from the word go. But anyway, President Trump asked Georgia judge Wednesday to award him $6.26 million in attorney's fees and costs he incurred defending himself against his now dismissed criminal prosecution in the state. Trump's efforts relies on a law in Georgia legislators passed last year, which allows criminal defendants to recover their legal bills when their prosecutor is sidelined for improper conduct. So the only thing is, Fani Willis was not sidelined because of improper conduct. It was the appearance of improper conduct. I know that word appearance, and most of us non-legal experts would probably say we're splitting hairs, but apparently that's the only thing I think is a problem, is the fact that they use the word the appearance of impropriety or improper conduct. Fulton County District Attorney Fani Willis had indicted Trump over an alleged unlawful conspiracy to overturn the 2020 election results, one of 4 criminal cases he faced as he ran his second White House term. And actually, we probably should look at that, because we've since found out that Trump wasn't actually wrong in saying that there was something fishy about the results of the election. We've since found that out here in Georgia. So maybe we need to do a review of that as well. The courts ultimately disqualified Willis over an appearance of impropriety. An appearance. I don't know what the appearance is. Like, I can't think of any other situation where we say there's an appearance of bank robbery. There's an appearance of speeding. There is an appearance of lying. Like, why would you use that any other way? I hate that they did that. And I think that was Judge McAfee who did that. If he had not done that, I think this case would have been settled a long time ago. It would have been settled last year. Impropriety caused by her romance with the top prosecutor she hired to charge Trump. The extraordinary case formally came to an end in late November when the special prosecutor who took over declined to move forward with any charges. Wednesday's motion asked for $6.26, I'm not going to read it, $6,261,613.08. Okay, well, I got your 8 cents, my dude. Let me go look in my glove box. I got the 8 cents for you, my dude. In public funds, Trump's more than a dozen co-defendants could ask for reimbursement on their legal bills too. Now, the thing is, the reason I asked you before, how could you handle this if somebody came to you and said, hey, you have to pay, 10%, 20% to your neighbor? This money is going to come out of Fani Willis's budget. Fani Willis's budget is only $30 million. So if you have to give up $6 million of that, I'm sorry, she's going to be looking really weird real quick. That doesn't leave her a lot of money. Let's keep it going. The demand will go to Judge McAfee, who oversees the case. The new state law requires him to approve it if the amount is reasonable. All right. I'm sure it's going to, and the bad thing, the bad thing is this $6 million is only for Trump. That $6 million is only for Donald John Quavius Trump. That doesn't include the other defendants. So they probably spent, let's just say, the same amount, but they didn't have the same type of lawyers. So let's just say they spent $6 million on Trump, and the other defendants spent another $6 million total. That's $12 million of a $30 million budget. Your budget is toast. Your budget is cooked, Fani. And they're going to spend time wrangling about this and horse trading and fighting about it, but it's going to still be a lot of money. It's going to still be a lot of money, whether it's the full $6 million plus or they whittle it down to $5 million total or somehow or another. It's going to be a mess. And it's all because of Fani. Like, this case really did not need to happen. And now we know that it not only did it not need to happen, it now is going to negatively impact Fulton County wholesale. In accordance with Georgia law, President Trump has moved the court to award reasonable attorney fees and costs incurred in his defense of this politically motivated and now rightfully dismissed case brought by disqualified DA Fani Willis, Steve Sadow, Trump's attorney. In the case said in a statement, the motion includes more than 200 pages of documentation showing how Trump spent the 7-figure sum. Most of it would reimburse Trump for payments he made to his lawyers. I know you liked that episode. This is actually a clip from a larger live stream. The link is down in the description, so you can go check it out. I hope you enjoyed it, and I'll see you down there. Grace and peace.